So, something to think about when it comes to investing from a scarcity consciousness versus investing from your soul or your soul's guidance is to pay attention to, well, one, the feeling at the time of the transaction. If you're going to actually make the purchase, how are you feeling? Because it's okay if you feel scared, right? It's okay if you feel fear. But if you feel fear from a place of, I haven't been here before, this is completely new for me, this is a new adventure, I'm being vulnerable, versus if it's a fear of, that's like a visceral, like survival fear of, this is so much money, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, like that kind of fear, you know what I mean? Be able to delineate between the two and what's actually real and what isn't too. What is actually a real feeling for you? Because sometimes our feelings aren't always accurate of the picture going on in our lives, right? But also like pay attention to obviously things like, are you able to make this decision in a reasonable time frame? By yourself without having someone high pressure sales you into it, right? I find when a lot of people have some sort of resistance with money, or they feel like they need some sort of healing with their money, a lot of times it ties back to their previous financial experiences. And if we have previous financial experiences where we felt out of our power, or we felt like we didn't have a choice, or we should have stood up for ourselves, we should have been more outspoken about what we wanted, those are always really frustrating to carry with us, like carry that constant feeling with us, because that's not really a feeling you need associated with money when you view money as an energy, right? It essentially means that you feel like you dishonored your energy by making that type of purchase that you're now regretting. So letting go of those regrets about our previous financial situations, that's not saying don't deal with the consequences. We all have consequences of our previous financial decisions, whether that's good or bad. But any sort of regret or guilt, as long as it didn't affect any other people, or you weren't intentionally harming any other person while you're doing it, there's no reason to carry around guilt about a previous financial decision that was maybe wrong or bad, or didn't provide you the money in return that you were hoping for, right? So with that being said, I think it's also important to think about the concept of overstretching yourself financially, because I also think an element of investing in yourself and an element of having a bigger business than you have now, having a more luxurious life than you have now, requires you doing different things and thinking a different way about money that you might not be used to thinking, or feels very like challenging for you to think about. But also this idea that of taking risks, getting comfortable taking risks with money. That doesn't mean, just because it's a risky situation, that doesn't mean it has to feel bad or it has to feel dirty, right? Some risk is a really positive element of life if it's used in moderation in our lives, right? It can be like a very positive, it can add a lot to our life experience. So, and at the very least, you learn a lot when you take more risks. Whereas someone that doesn't take as much risks, in my opinion, someone that's playing it safe in their life or in their business or whatever that